Oh boy, this was a tough one. This was a tough one, but thank goodness I have my friends with me. So let's get it started. It's Retro Rangers time.
Having fun, you know. Giving comments and reviews, and it's done by fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
With the Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers,
Oh, Retro Rangers! It's so good to have you with us. Oh man, it's a great show today. The prep, that was challenging. And I will be complaining about that intermittently. You won't have to deal with too much of that. But luckily, you've got two great personalities to go alongside me. Have you met Commander Joe Townsell? Mr. Townsell, how are you, sir?
Miss Weber, doing fabulous. Always am every Saturday and Sunday at 5 o'clock to be with you to do our fun shows with our great friends. Great times.
And we have one of our great friends in the imaginary studio with us tonight. She's been on the show before, and I don't want to brag, but that show has about 10 times the number of views that any other show we've done, Joe. But it's because she's great at promotion, and she's great at diving into a subject, and it's gonna really help tonight a lot to have her with us, folks.
Plus, she's just so cool, you know.
She's so cool, and we were actually giving her a hard time about how great looking she is, which she does not ever tell people to say. Never in all the years I've known her.
I cannot live up to this build-up at all. Hello, fellas. Thanks for having me back.
Good to have
Thanks
you
for
with us
being
again,
back.
Brodie, live on the screen.
Good to be here.
We love you in the chat. We love you here on the screen. There's no such thing as bad Brodie.
I'm adopting that as my motto.
It's yours. It's yours. That's the best I can pay anyone.
I will credit you.
Well, maybe it's more appropriate and accurate to say that Brodie is only as bad as she wants to be.
Ooh, that's true, Ms. Brodie, if you're nasty. Raphael, so great to have you.
Raphael.
And there's Johnny A. Ensign Atkinson is with us as well.
John.
Good to have you with us, John. This is going to be an unusual kind of day. We are watching clips, and one of the subjects refused to let us do it, and I refused to quit, which I've done in the past. Look at that. Look at Diana. How is your editing school watching us?
I logged in, but then I forgot I logged in with my editing school instead of the other. So
hey, I think it's a good time for us to do a little bit of, paying the light bill, if you will. It's not really.
Oh, sure.
All right. So let's take a look at Brodie's editing school on YouTube.
Hey.
This is such a gorgeous YouTube page, Brodie.
Well, thank you so much. I've
Yes,
really
indeed.
put a lot of work into it. There's a new one coming out soon.
Oh, yeah.
A new video will land by Tuesday, hopefully.
And look at that. You're doing the shorts as well.
Doing
something
the
we
shorts.
aspire to, right, John?
What's that, Joe?
I was saying something we aspire to ourselves.
Oh boy, you have no idea.
I can
what-
teach you. I can teach you.
Because
Let
I
me
really,
help you.
I want to do what you did here, and I want to have like different sections where people can find the different kinds of shows that Joe and I have done, because we've done all kinds of different shows. But I do have to say, an editing academy, that is really cool, because you've spent a few years of your life doing editing, have you not?
Just a few, coming up to 3 decades, really.
Good
28,
Why?
28 years professional freelance. It's been a blast. It's been a blast. But listen, I'm serious. I'm saying it in front of God and everyone. John, I will help you guys. I can show you how to do it. It's not as difficult as you think. Look, you are the one that got me to use StreamYard to begin with, to live stream. If you can do StreamYard, you can do all this. Just give me like an hour. I'll show you.
That's fantastic. I love
Sounds
it.
like a great
My
offer,
gift
John.
to you.
Folks, this is a teacher. You want to know this teacher. This teacher is going to give you some skills. That's an exciting thing. All right, let me take that down, and we'll come back to this, of course.
And
But-
thanks for the promo.
Oh,
But
of course.
I'm waiting on the good promo though. That you can fit that in whenever you want, but it's always a rockin' theme. Whenever we do whenever you guys do joetownsend.com.
Oh,
It's coming up.
I'm very excited for it. If you're out there in YouTube land, you're gonna want to stick around for that.
Oh gosh, I'm oh right. So speaking of promoting my friend's great work, Joe Townseld's story Test Kitchen is also part of Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, and you definitely want to go over there and check out that podcast. They are fantastic. It makes perfect sense that they would want to use one of Joe's stories. It would make more sense if they wanted to use more of Joe's stories. So guys, ding, think about it.
well, thank you, John. You know, you never know. We're going to definitely keep plugging away with Chilling Tales, but this adaptation can be found on my YouTube page. Just search for Joe Towns on YouTube. There is also links available on my personal website, as Diana mentions, joetownsend.com. And my story is part of a dual broadcast, 2 stories. I encourage you to listen to the entire episode, but if you want to skip directly to mine, my story is second on the broadcast. It's at the 20-minute mark.
20-minute mark. You know, I feel like that would be a terrible nickname. 20-minute mark.
Sounds like a story idea to me.
Okay. I put together a playlist on YouTube. I don't know if anyone can go to it, but it's called Killdozer and Friends.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that cute? I'm very proud of it. So let me get over to my YouTube account. There we go. And we're going to take a look at we should probably just start, because here's the thing about Killdozer. There's a lot of time to talk. The script was like 7 pages. It's easily one of the most dull great movies in my memory and in my head.
Mac, come in.
Rob Urich, everybody. Robert Urich.
Now, this I did not know.
Yes. This is young Robert Urich. And listen to him when he starts talking. Gotta listen over to Killdozer, obviously.
Hey, Dutch, I want you to give Beltran a hand on the access road.
Clint Walker.
Wow.
Remember when
Rich
Clint
Stallman,
Walker was
such
like a
bad
real
acting.
big deal?
Isn't there a band called Killdozer?
There is. There was a Marvel comic one-off, but they turned Killdozer into a comic book. Maybe
Basically, there's just pages and pages that says Killdozer improvises. Is that it?
He's like 12 years old here.
He's
Boy,
also
that
using
sounds like
his
Robot
New
from Lost
Yorker
Space.
accent.
Oh, this is the beginning of Killdozer.
At the very beginning. But this is a stitched together video, as YouTube likes to do, where somebody just stitched together all of the bulldozer scenes.
Well, that's what we want anyway.
We don't kink shame here. If you're just into it for the bulldozers, you go.
Who are we to judge?
Who are we to judge? John says, you're between Magnum Force and Vegas. I think so.
Yeah.
74, I think.
I think it's Uric between puberty and his 20s, really.
Little baby face.
Yeah.
This is also, I love all of the writers on this, because the plot is these guys are on an island and they're doing construction, and a meteor lands, and bulldozer bumps into it and absorbs some alien energy and then becomes a killdozer.
So
Literally the plot?
Literally the plot.
So as Stephen King, who plays Jordy Vero in Creepshow, would say, meteor shit. Those darn meteors. They brought the blob, and they're just pesky little things, aren't they?
Whatever it is, it's gonna have to come out.
You sound like the dentist.
Yeah,
So Robert York is such a highbrow at this point. I mean, he's not even in the opening credits.
Well, he hasn't been on SWAT yet, and I think that might have been a big jump in his career.
No.
And you got to know that once he auditioned and showed them his rock listening skills, they were like, that's the guy.
That's the man.
That could be true.
Is he the first kill from the Killdozer? Is that what's going to happen?
You know something? I still haven't watched it. I watched it as a child. I don't know.
Well, see, I'm neither have I, and I'm that annoying person who keeps asking questions. What's going to happen now? There's that meteor.
There's the meteor magic, everybody.
Oh, look, it went right into the Killdozer, or the negative Killdozer.
I mean, we assumed that the bulldozer was a good bulldozer to begin with.
Yeah, it was a nice
right?
bulldozer prior to this. He couldn't help it.
Helped around the community. Everyone loved the bulldozer.
What happened to Robert
It
Urich?
was quiet, kept to itself.
Let me ask everybody a question here. Did you, as a kid, get to watch scary movies? Let's start with our guest, Diana.
Sometimes, not often, because I was very easily frightened as a child. So like Jaws came out, I was not allowed to see it. My mom was like, no, we're going on vacation. She can't see that movie. So I was it was a lot. And when I got older and was less supervised, then yeah.
Did you find yourself drawn to scary movies, Brodie?
No, not remotely. No.
I'm
But
very much. Yeah, I'm the same.
yeah, I don't care for them, but there are some that I really liked, and I think the first one that I saw was Dawn of the Dead. To call back to last episode, that I saw that before I ever saw Night of the Living Dead.
Dawn of the Dead's a lot. That was a very gory.
The mall scene stands as one of my favorite scenes of all time, with guys in the blood pressure cuff, and his arm is just going to get left in it. As soon as he puts his arm in it, you just know. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. That sounds great.
You guys got to do it on the show.
Mr. Townsell, how about you? What was your horror consumption? Because you became a horror writer, so
my background with is basically horror and gore and scary was just fine. Sex and nudity, no way. I had to wait till later on to enjoy that. At least when my mother was around. Dad didn't care about that stuff either. But there was no restrictions, and of course I was there right from the beginning, as far back as I can remember.
See, now that I always wondered what that was like, because I had friends whose parents liked horror, and so they got to see a lot of it. And I didn't turn out to be a normal person. So it's not like my parents did a great thing by, restricting me. So John Atkinson says, I got to see whatever was on TV, loved Night Gallery. You lucky duck. You lucky, lucky man, John.
By the time they got to John Atkinson, they were like, ugh, we've done it. We've done this a million times. Do what you want, John.
That's my youngest sisters. Yeah. They're 9 and 10 years younger than me. And yeah, they got to do whatever. They were feral at that point. Raphael says, 7 years old, the family gathered late night Fridays for creature double features, the 50s sci-fi and 30s Universal monsters. That sounds healthy to me. Because if you watch it as a family, you know, and you got people around you. Oh, did the Killdozer try to sneak up on him?
Well, it was right there. It raised its little shovel there, but it's Scoop. But I think he's just trying to scare them right now a little bit. But I found it interesting. I don't know if this is a clip we'll see with later with Christine, but I find it interesting that there's two similar scenes here. Both movies have a scene of some guy smoking callously, tipping his ashes onto the machine, and the machine gets pissed and tries to,
What'd you find? Nothing.
So I guess the moral is don't smoke around the Killdozer or Christine. They don't like it.
The drain cock's open, the air intake blocked, and the main fuel line cut.
Yeah.
I think right now Killdozer is really just
I didn't want her going anywhere.
kind of be intimidating.
Sure. Well, you saw this.
I think he's going through a I think therefore I am kind of period.
Yeah.
Yep. Think we got another?
Oh, this is a good call. One of these guys is Carl Betts.
She's okay.
Thanks, Raphael.
Oh, wow.
Dad from the Donna
Nice
Reed Show.
catch.
One thing. Come
I
here,
love that.
right here.
Killdozer tiptoeing.
You hear that? I couldn't locate whatever's causing it.
Sounds like a heartbeat.
Probably not important.
Sounds like my tinnitus.
Felton came
Ah,
by, asked me if we're up tomorrow.
That's all I'm hearing.
Well, he's just going to have to make do with the D4. I don't want anybody taking this machine out until I give the green light.
I
okay?
kind of love the era where there was like James Arness and Clint Walker and like these really big actors who can't act.
Now, the great thing about Killdozer as far as a prop is that with the Scoop there, you can put lots of area there for cue cards for the actors who are clearly reading their dialogue right now. Get out of the Killdozer.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
I worry about the one black guy.
They're always the first
Yeah.
one to go.
Did anyone ever watch Bob Wilkins' Creature Feature, John Atkinson asks. I definitely didn't.
No, you think I missed that one, unfortunately.
I remember hearing about it, but I never did watch it.
I need to learn this actor's name because isn't this one of the guys from the cockpit in Airplane?
I don't think so, because
No.
because this guy looks about the same age as the guy you're talking about, but it's like how many years apart?
Airplane's like 1980 or
Yeah,
81.
so I mean, I think there's Arizona's, but I think it's somebody else.
And this is like 74.
I don't know. Maybe you're right, John. Maybe you're right.
I usually don't try to guess because I don't want to be the white guy who can't tell one black guy from another. And yet,
Well, I mean, in the 70s, early 80s, when you have frozen, big mustaches, I mean.
I do believe that one of the black guys in Airplane, though, was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so he would be a little more recognizable.
that's true. But the guy I'm thinking of is the navigator. He's the third guy.
Oh,
in the
that's
cockpit who sits in the
right.
back.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna look that up.
And he's a real pro. I mean, he's real. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the co-pilot. That's how you pronounce it. I'm the co-pilot.
So I think the navigator, and I'm like, is that Roger? Is that Over? Is that Victor?
I think the navigator was Roger, because it was Captain Over.
Captain Over, right?
Victor Basta.
Victor Basta. What's our Victor?
That was it. I think that was it.
I'm wondering if that's the same guy. I mean, one of the great things about Airplane was they got a lot of good character actors who had done a lot of stuff. And so, to your eye, until Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in his playing gear. He's like,
Now, wait a minute. Okay. In close-up shots of the Killdozer, it's operating by itself. I swear I just saw a stunt driver in the
Oh,
long shot.
I have to move my camera a little. Sorry, everybody. I do
No,
like.
it's corrected here, but I'm pretty sure I saw the driver when they first brought
I
him in
mean,
here.
it's not exactly the kind of picture where there'd be like, let's record, let's shoot it again. They're like, no, we did 2 takes. We're good. One of them's good. Let's move on.
Moving on.
And unlike Christine, there's no windows to tint to hide the stunt driver. So,
Weber,
Take a
what
look
was
at-
what was your motivation for the theme of the night? Did you was there a catalyst to? Sorry, I don't mean to talk over literally the only action that's happened so far, practically.
No, it's better to talk over. It's not like you're interrupting dialogue.
That's true.
Well, there's my version and there's Joe's version. So, Joe, I think you should go first because I'm
well,
not sure.
my
mine
answer
is
would be
very-
disappointing because I could claim that we've spent hours discussing topics for this week, and after much discussion came with this, but I think it just came off the top of our heads like some of them do, and we're off and running.
All right.
I mean, working with Council is great on so many levels, but one of the levels is because his imagination spins. He doesn't just settle right away. He works ideas, and so this was. Sorry, I'll get to the chat's very funny. Right
Why is Killdozer making like pew 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 noises?
Was Killdozer rolling over all the diesel barrels?
They're just destroying the camp generally, I think.
Well,
Just be an ass.
He already destroyed the radio. So that's like the smartest thing. He cut off his victims from the outside world. So Killdozer is clearly like planning what he's doing. And I do want to go to NLE Academy, and folks, check them out. In the movie Airplane, the navigator was Victor Basta, played by Frank Ashmore. He was part of the flight crew alongside Captain Clarence Over and co-pilot Roger Murdoch. Kareem
Continue.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. Didn't realize that would run out of room there.
Me either. The characters in Airplane are part of the film's iconic humor, where their names are contributed. Roger? Yes? What's our vector, Victor? What? Now, I argued a little with myself, Raphael, should we include Duel? Because it is such a great movie. And because it's a person behind the wheel in Duel, and not a monster, not just the autonomous auto itself, I didn't think that counted. So we just stuck with supernaturally intelligent vehicles. That's tonight's.
I do like John Atkinson's point that they didn't take into account how easy it would be to outrun Killdozer, which, I mean, also ties in with last episode of how easy it would have been to just outrun those zombies.
But what happens every time you outrun anything that moves slowly? You trip and they catch up anyway.
You trip, you twist your ankle. There's always a twisted ankle.
If it were modern, you would catch your cargo shorts on something.
Oh, Killdozer got himself a truck.
Oh.
Over the edge it goes.
Oh. Go, Killdozer, go. Kill.
Oh, wow, it just exploded with nothing.
So
it's dead. It's all messed up.
my version of what this episode was going to be was I just wanted us to sit around and watch Killdozer. And then Joe was like, well, there's lots of automated monsters. And I actually went and I looked at these clips of Killdozer and I went, oh, this could be our most boring show ever. Because it's a frickin' bulldozer. It does not move quickly. It just does bulldozer stuff.
It's literally just landscaping. It's literally...
It's actually clearing the land and doing its job.
It's the evil landscaping. That's what gets you. It's landscaping, but it's evil.
This is actually just an episode of HGTV.
Yeah.
This is curb appeal right here.
And what I love that Raphael brings up is it's actually really easy for us to do movies of the week because the copyright claims on them are really weak. And so we love that. but it has to be like interesting. It has to have a lot you could do. I mean, so far we got a little bit of Robert Urich in tight jeans, a little bit of Clint Walker being, the senior actor. I'm hoping
Clint's just be pretty irritated right now. He keeps blowing his smoke. Look at that. Well, that was a nice cut.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So that's Dutch. And Dutch threw a beer bottle at Killdozer at some point.
Well, no,
he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that.
Now,
wish the Killdozer into the cornfield.
Dutch got out of the Jeep, right? Like, it was so slow. There's no way.
I think you're just sitting there waiting to get squished.
Did the one black guy survive?
Okay, now I do have to say, it's not fair to Killdozer because these are literally only the bulldozer scenes. So they've cut out the dialogue.
Oh, this is like Godzilla versus Mothra or something. These two guys, look.
They cut out the dialogue, still an hour long.
I love how Steam Shovel is the one thing the Killdozer is like, wait a minute. I don't know if I could take, because isn't this the classic Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Triceratops?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, except it's like Godzilla versus Kong right here.
It is. I think that's so true.
Now, if you could do ABC Movies of the Week, could you do like an after-school special? Was that CBS? That might be. What about?
No, after-school specials were ABC. We actually did one last year.
Did you do one?
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Not the Scott Baio one.
No.
The boy who drank too much. Come on, y'all got to do that one.
No, the one we watched had Jodie Foster in as a kid.
Oh.
It might have been our Pride Month. One of our Pride Month offers was because I really love to point out that Jodie Foster was a child actor. I don't think a lot of people remember that, and she was great. She was like one of the best we ever had.
And one of the few that made such a great leap into adulthood.
I mean, practically uninterrupted in terms of a great career and doing really good work and working with good people. Oh, Killdozer has Steam Shovel pinned in the corner. Referee's going to have to break this up at a 5 count.
And it suddenly became like a wrestling match.
Tags in a Schwinn bicycle.
Now John Atkinson's ruining Christine for me. Actually, I've watched this.
Spoilers. Come on, John. Hey, maybe it was Killdozer and Christine. Maybe that, it's the same one.
I can imagine, like, he gets the call and they're like, finally, you're going to do a Killdozer 2? And they're like, no, we want you to be in Christine. He's like, I need the work.
Being going from the star to being a bit player. It's insulting, but I'll do it.
I had my own Marvel comic book,
There are no small parts. There are just small bulldozers.
Well, the thing is that there was a Marvel comic one-off, like you say, that was an easy job for the letterer. The guy that puts in all the dialogue in the comic.
The letterer was like, woo!
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I got 6 lines of dialogue here to do, and that's no problem.
The steam shovel is not sentient, right? Someone's operating the steam shovel.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. It's basically a human-powered, steam-powered shovel.
Yeah, see, there he is.
All right, this is going to be his last act as a human.
Oh, that's going to be effective.
Now the Killdozer's half blind. What are you going to do?
Gonna wear a big eye patch over one headlight.
Oh, Clint Walker.
Oh, crap. Poke the bear.
Uh-oh.
What did he get him on?
I guess they got a tarp and put some gas on it or something and lit it on fire.
Oh. Well, when you're trapped on an island with a Killdozer, you got to think of this stuff.
I swear they got the sound effects back to Overdrive from this movie. Oh, there's the glowing meteor light.
Oh.
I kind of like that we got to see the mini Killdozer, the Killdozer featurette.
My hope is that Miller comes down and takes the Killdozer back to its home planet.
Listen,
Oh, look,
In
they're
a
kicking him. Make
in
sure
a
it's
in a
dead.
in a Repo Man tie-in.
Re-
Tom's gone.
Repo Man gets a little love on this show, and frankly, now the more I think about it, the more I think we should have included Repo Man.
Oh, yeah.
No, I guess not. All we got
Such
is
a
our
good
word
one.
that the thing existed.
You know, we could.
'Twas
make
beauty killed the beast.
tell the authorities the guys got caught in a landslide.
Like, I
No.
don't love how sad the hard hat guys are that they had to kill Killdozer.
Yeah.
100 years, I might get to like
It wasn't the bulldozer's fault.
Blow your whole philosophy?
Just two grizzled white guys leaning against the Killdozer. That was the
So am I,
70s,
son.
folks.
I think that guy was in like 70 billion movies back then. I feel like I've seen him in a ton of stuff. That's how they killed Killdozer?
And he did a little fire. Oh, there's Robert Urich. Okay, he was in there.
That is seriously how they killed the Killdozer? Just like rolled over something? A metal sheet?
He rolled over something that burned or zapped or something. I don't know. Moving on, folks.
There's a great movie called Race with the Devil with Peter Fonda.
Oh, I'd
I
love
really
to
want to
see
watch on this if we can get it past copyright. But it's a similar ending, spoilers, where they are running from these cultists the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then finally they just light a fire around their RV and they're trapped. They go, and the fire's like a foot high. Like, okay, well, I guess that's it. Same thing with Killdozer, I guess. He had a little fire underneath his little track there. That's all it takes.
There's Dutch. Okay, we can move on from Killdozer, but I do have a couple more short clips. There's Dutch goes swimming. That's what this one's called. I'm going swimming.
Yeah, swim. Killdozer won't fall into the water, will he?
Wait a minute. Dutch is drunk. We should have noticed. Dutch. And there's
Is the steering wheel popping off in his hands or what?
whoop.
Oh,
no. Notice Killdozer.
Is that a young Shatner?
No, I can't be Shatner. He was way above doing Killdozer.
That would have made this movie so much better.
Kingdom of the Killdozers.
Yes, he was too busy wrestling spiders at this point.
Don't get me started on Big Bad Mama. I'm sure that's what he was working on at this point.
Uh-oh. That was a good shot. That really
I think
made
you saw a piece of that earlier, but why is the guy just sitting there? Screw the Jeep, get out.
He gives up.
Yeah.
He just gives up. Oh. And now just by the disgust on Clint Walker and the other guy's face, that's how we know the Dutch died. That is just sad. The next video is called Killdozer Kill Count.
Oh.
So I think we might watch it. I don't.
Oh,
unless anybody
we've
objects.
invested this much. Come on. Why not?
Oh, Killdozer.
The kill count. All right. Well, we'll get the answer to Diana's question. Did the black guy die? Because we didn't see that before, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Urich, I think.
Yeah, he was the first to go, wasn't he?
And Tommy Lee Jones. A poor man's Tommy Lee Jones.
Wow.
And someone got run over.
That's brutal. Oh. Why'd you try
I mean,
to
this
drive
thing hadn't
across-
even finished rolling over before it exploded. Look. Boom.
Why'd he push him over onto that explosive device? That's weird.
We didn't know there were landmines here.
Okay, so Dutch was number 4, I guess.
I like
Or
that we're
3.
recapping this one.
Maybe the black guy didn't die because he was in before this.
Yeah.
Did he just sit in that Jeep and allow himself to be rolled over?
All 3 times.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we shouldn't expect a different result no matter how many times we watch it. Boom.
Oh, I see.
Well, I like whenever Killdozer like does a killing motion, he like squirts some smoke at the same time.
Yeehaw! Says Killdozer.
So only 5 guys died in this? That's no wonder it was kind of boring.
Oh, Okay, a 6-person kill count. That's See, that's why we didn't do just Killdozer. It's inherently you're welcome. You know what?
You're welcome.
He said, thanks for watching. I got to click like on it. Okay. Now
So that's Killdozer. What a class.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave comments. Help the Killdozer algorithm.
Thank you, Brodie. Good reminder for everybody. Can I just say that Weber Internet Thingy, we broke 100 subscribers this week.
Hey,
Yeah.
We're actually at 107.
yes.
Last I looked. So it's very exciting. These numbers are huge for us. Okay, there was a movie from 1977 called Crash. Has anyone heard of this movie?
I have not.
I feel like I may have.
So we're going to watch the trailer, and it is 4 minutes long.
That's a trailer.
That's a trailer. So let's see. And I believe Jose Ferrer is in this.
Oh, classic immediately.
Right. So in the 70s, and we were all little kids in the 70s, so we experienced this. There were a bunch of these crazy bad movies, and they would have like one A-list actor from 50 years ago. And like Jose Ferrer, who is incredible in like Lawrence of Arabia and so many other films, just this great actor. He basically is in this trashy little movie. And let's take a look at it from 1977, the theater trailer, I believe, for Crash.
Ooh.
There is a foolish superstition that some objects possess powers beyond anything human.
Thanks.
Jose Ferrer's cheating wife.
A strange force operating in the head of a killer dog, wreaking
Killer dog.
vengeance and death on the road.
Where's that big dog head? Yeah, dog really rolls with the punches.
I'm sure. I'm so frightened. Send me my box,
A car driven by revenge.
Driven by revenge.
Oh,
The
what
power
happened?
of a woman whose mind is possessed.
Imagine you shot when you flip off the driver. There's no driver there.
Sausages.
Oh, not the van.
Everything exploded.
I can definitely say it. Tipixacasa.
It's carotene.
Oh, just a word before. What did he? All I can tell you is he's an unpleasant character dedicated to vengeance, hatred, and violence. It's really an occult matter, Dr. Mark.
A trail of splintered steel and shattered glass.
What's this?
Bloody bodies strewn across the landscape. Evil screaming down the highway.
If this was a commercial for Ford Mustang, everybody would buy a Ford Mustang. Oh, them Duke boys are in a whole heap of stuff.
Interestingly, the movie is sponsored by Sherry.
All right.
Because Mustangs are prone to demonic possession, so you don't want to buy one of those.
I mean, everyone knows that.
Hey, man. You know, Ford was
Hey,
not
there
a
he
nice
is.
man.
You did it. There is a
He looks like Gilbert Gottfried there.
A little bit.
beyond anything human.
The car. The car.
God, he's killing people.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's coming right into the house.
So,
Oh, wait a
of
minute.
all the
wait. She has the power now to summon machines?
Starring Jose Ferrer, who's in it for a minute and a half.
Is she trying to get even with the dog? The dog has a cast?
Dog has a cast.
Raphael, I believe this was a theatrical movie.
Okay, so the car went out through a wall and came out the backside of a billboard. That's cool.
And they're just at. Why is that car parked?
Talking like a hunter. It's fine.
Oh, the
Park
LA,
against this little cliff.
in the LA River.
Oh, it's circling him.
Jose, why did you go outside? It's a car.
Oh, yeah, there's one. More explosions.
Movie where death is in the driver's seat.
Death is in the driver's seat.
Good tagline.
This is fantastic.
Right?
Rated R.
Right? I'm going to thank IMDb for putting together a list of movies that have demonic vehicles in them, because I never knew about that movie. But damn, that looks like some good bad. Right?
That looks like
was
a
the
good one.
Doberman just a bad dog that attacked a woman while she's driving, and then the car got possessed? So it wanted to get revenge on what? The dog, or
Sometimes you just gotta let this stuff wash over you, Joe. Sometimes.
I mean, I've heard. I mean, there's suspending disbelief, and then there's suspending disbelief.
My impression from reading a little bit about it was that she is stepping out on Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town. If you know your Kenny Rogers songs. She's stepping out on her wheelchair-bound husband, Jose Ferrer. Jose Ferrer apparently owns the vengeful dog. The dog attacked her for some reason. She picks up a little statue, which, if you remember, is how things really started going wrong in The Exorcist a couple years earlier.
And that one Brady Bunch episode.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong, Brodie.
Yeah, don't go surfing when you get one of those things.
Let me just ask. Let me ask a quick question. If you guys carry sort of this theme forward, and then you start to go with like possessed animals and possessed ventriloquist dummies, you could do Devil Dog Hound from Hell. You could do there was one kind of puppet thing. I feel like Chuck Connors was in both of these. Wasn't Chuck Connors in Devil Dog Hound from Hell? And then there was a puppet thing where he makes all these like dolls and stuff. I feel like that's another Chuck Connors B horror movie.
Connors.
It's
Actually,
wall pasta.
we might want to go out there and see if we could find it. These are all good show ideas. I'm writing them all down, Brodie.
See, Diana, when you asked earlier how we get our show ideas, this is exactly how it happens. Oh, what about this? Oh, there's this. There's possessed ventriloquist dummies. Yeah, cool.
I feel like Devil Dog Hound from Hell. I was like 17. I don't know if my friend Amy is watching right now, but I watched it at my friend Amy's house, and it just hit at exactly the right time. And to this day is one of my favorite movies. It's hilarious. Of course, unintentionally.
I've never seen it. It sounds like something I really wish I had seen. So
you really want to see it.
Devil Dog. You say?
Devil Dog Hound from Hell, or something like that. Something that's really close to that.
But it's got Chuck Connors in it.
Yeah, pretty sure, but I could be misremembering. It was a long time ago. Raphael, I watched them sadly of my own free will, each and every one of them. You were back in college, Brodie. You were a cinema major, were you not? I was TVR.
Oh, you were TVR?
I was TVR, but I did take a lot of cinema classes.
You were way too classy for the rest of the TVR bunch. So.
Oh, that is absolutely untrue. Absolutely. I was not moody enough to be a cinema major.
Oh, true. Though I do think you had the Army surplus jacket.
I did. I can't believe you with a Buckaroo Banzai kind of thing tied around the collar of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what people who were going to make good movies, that's what they wore. Almost to a person.
And and never to miss a shameless opportunity to self-promote following Diana's suggested themes. Just know that the upcoming Horror Springs Eternal collection by Joe Townsend does feature fairly prominently a demonic dog and cat.
Okay. So the thing that all right, wait a minute. Sorry. Is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, did I provide a segue, John?
The reason why I bagged out of YouTube for a second was so that we could do our mid-show.
ShowTownZoe.com. ShowTownZoe.com. Yeah, ShowTownZoe.com. The heat of the fire is blistering. ShowTownZoe.com.
Wolf outside is whispering.
Wolf outside is whispering. ShowTownZoe.com. The spirits whisper.
My friend.
If what you like is feeling frightened, Joe's a good guy to know.
Every now and then, I think there's something a little different in there, other than hook you up.
ShowTownZoe.com, my friend.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
But yes, in the upcoming collection, you can be entertained by a gruesome demonic dog and cat.
I also want to throw this out because I'm trying to get as many people as possible to join us for it. We really are going to have a great time. Halloween night, if you're available, if you're not doing anything, October 31st, that would be 7 p.m. on the Pacific Coast and 10 p.m. on the East Coast. We will be listening live to War of the Worlds, and there will be a pre-show, and I'll advertise that as we get closer to it. But the pre-show is Mike Sauter, also from Ithaca College, because as Raphael points out, Ithaca rules the world.
True fact.
That he will be answering questions, and we'll be having a great conversation, building up. And yeah, you know what? That is a good point. I never actually turned on my front lights. There we go. Thanks, Brodie.
I got your back. And Sauter is a font of knowledge, so you definitely want to be there for that.
He is the very, very, and Mike, I hope you're watching or listening to this, because I would never say this behind your back. He is the very best kind of nerd. He does the research. He asks the questions. He went out there. He was searching newspapers from the 30s. He was searching everything from the 30s he could find to answer the question, was the panic broadcast of 1938 really everything they say it was? Ooh. Was it a huge deal, or was it not a huge deal, or was it something in the middle? And he can answer all those questions now, because after last year's show, we discussed it, he and I was like, you did so much research. It's amazing. I'm going to exploit that.
How can I use that to my advantage?
Exactly. So let's get back to looking at our clips. Has anyone heard of the 1980 movie The Hearse?
I have heard of it. I couldn't tell you what it's about per se.
No.
But that one did cross my radar at some point.
Prepare yourself, and you can see it right now. This screen is filthy. This is a filthy copy of the trailer. But let's see if it can give us, in 2.5 minutes, let's see if it can tell us the story that we are going to get when we watch The Hearse.
Oh.
And there is a major actor in this one too.
Ooh, who can spot him first?
Ooh, Raphael's seen it. Oh, and John Atkinson.
So cool.
Excellent.
All right. I realized I did not share the screen. So hang on.
I was like, well, he's really building up that anticipation.
Sounds like use our imaginations on this one.
I'm so terrible at this job.
And then John brings up sock puppets and just does it.
Are you the Hearse? No, I'm not. Are you? No.
Sadly, would watch that. Who would tune in for that?
That's how I got 107 subscribers, folks. Okay. Once again, filthy screen. Here you go. It's gonna be trash.
That sounds lame.
The barrier between life and death is no greater than the thickness of a door.
Oh!
The door is open. Crown International Pictures presents The Hearse.
Welcome to Blackford. You plan on...
Hey, I know that guy.
Well, I'm not exactly sure yet. Maybe for the summer.
A beautiful woman trying to escape her past.
Oh, what the heck is that? I didn't recognize it.
Cracked up.
Becomes trapped in a past far more terrible.
Accurate picture from the
I know
past.
what your aunt did here.
Joseph Cotton.
She worshipped the devil.
At least we can live forever.
I was in Citizen Kane.
What diabolical forces are manipulating her life?
I am possessed. I am possessed.
Oh, wow.
That locket.
Oh, it belonged to my aunt.
That
I
dude.
wouldn't show it to too many people if I were you. It's the devil's sign.
Why is she being pursued by a phantom on wheels?
Oh, because her aunt worships the devil. She carries the devil's locket.
It exploded into flames. Stranger
Man, more car explosions.
was no sign of the driver or your aunt's coffin.
Ooh.
What horrifying destiny will be fulfilled?
Oh, hello.
When at last she encounters the hearse.
What do you want?
I want to take you to the grave.
It's haunted. And you're a ghost.
Classic car.
It's still
Yeah.
rolling the old county road in search of victims.
The old county road.
You're not.
A terrifying confrontation with evil.
Exorcist. The cameraman keeps attacking people.
Trish Vanderveer. Joseph Cotton.
Anybody there?
I was in Citizen Kane.
Oh, really?
Fright.
Just Vanderveer. I hope she got to do a lot more higher quality stuff, Trish Vanderveer.
We never saw her again.
And of course, I don't need to introduce anyone to Christine.
Sonny,
Classic.
you ever owned a car before?
No.
Oh, but this one's so neat.
My license.
Start her up.
The guy with the
Yeah.
cigar.
Her name's Christine.
Yeah.
I like that.
This is how good movie trailers are done.
I saw you guys at the football game.
Well, I mean, the movie has a phenomenal soundtrack because it's John Carpenter, you know. He's not going to skimp on the music.
Oh, is this a John Carpenter movie?
It absolutely is, yes.
Oh my
He's been
gosh.
obsessed with it. And you know what else? They told us the man who owned that car last
Died in it.
What do you know about that car?
I know there's a guy.
There's a pre-Baywatch babe.
His daughter choked to death in Christine.
It's that car.
Oh,
Go
bad
Green
guys.
Swayze.
The car.
Yep.
That's Christine.
Patrick Swayze, no.
It's funny, you know, because I heard you was told. Well, I tried cleaning
Heck
up
no.
the glass wasn't so bad.
Now,
So what if you
how do we get a car that can
fix it up now and
regenerate?
just come back
Because
and does it again?
that would be a good
He
vehicle.
won't do it again.
Well, I
Very
mean, in
subtle.
terms of practical effects, I mean, Carpenter did it by, it was largely plastic pieces that had hydraulics and inflators and, you know, underneath.
Oh, that's amazing.
In terms
Everything's
of story, it's because it's Christine. She's badass.
Is that Richard Kind, character actor?
No, I think that was Prosky. I think that was
Oh.
Robert Prosky.
It was
Other
Robert
great
Prosky
character.
playing Dell, the garage attendant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We also have Harry Dean Stanton playing the cop.
And I do want to say,
Was
especially the car that we'll talk about it in some way. The practical effects, as you say, are incredible. Oh my God. Yeah, there's Prosky.
Now, see, in the book, we got a real good reason for his death. In the movie, not so much.
Yeah.
See John
Christine was
Carpenter.
just being annoying at that point.
I had no idea this was a John Carpenter movie.
Yes, sir.
I'm such a schmo for not knowing that.
The Stephen King properties were so hot at this point
Yeah.
that they optioned the film rights before the novel was even finished.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Was Harry Dean Stanton really in Christine?
Yes, he was like in the latter third. He was the cop that investigates the murders.
Really?
Yes.
I might have to watch that movie.
It sounds really good. I can't remember the name of the guy who plays the lead, but he was also the lead, the son of Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School.
And he was the son of Angie Dickinson in Dressed to Kill.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And the actor is Keith Gordon.
Keith Gordon. I wonder did he become a director or something? I mean,
I think he moved behind the scenes. I mean, you see him now. He's all over IMDb, but more or less as a producer director type.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good for him. Because I liked him as an actor, but he didn't really light up the screen much. All right, friends. You know what? Before we get into Maximum Overdrive, and I have to say, it's glorious. I'm going to make everybody watch a presentation I made because, oh my goodness. Okay. There was a movie from 1977. I don't know if anyone remembers this. It was called The Car. And you're kidding me. Oh, well, he wasn't the main son in Great Santini, but was he? Oh, I'm trying to remember.
It doesn't sound accurate to me, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I can't think of who it would be otherwise offhand.
So yeah, when we're talking about The Car, you're right, Raphael. We're talking about Brolin. We're talking about James Brolin. This is primo Brolin. This is like Brolin at his. Watching these clips that I watched on YouTube that they won't let me show you. I cannot broadcast them. He showed with us. Hey, good to see you. Brolin was at the height of his powers. So the best I could do was put together this crappy rush job iMovie presentation. The trashy 1977 B-mill, The Car.
Boo, Shot Factory.
I love the Star Wars
Yeah.
intro effect on it. That's so great.
If anyone can do bad iMovie, it's me.
They killed rodeos? The car did?
Yes, the car attacked a rodeo. It was amazing. And the rodeo cowboys distracted the car away from the children that it was trying to run over. It ran over a motorcyclist. That happened early.
Yes, we see those.
That's the original DVD cover. Who's she?
Yeah, Raphael, somebody. Tell us who this is.
I looked so hard to find her. Oh, these two bicyclists really get killed in a really exciting, fun way. And
that's what they get for riding their bikes on the freeway.
Ronnie Cox, look at those sideburns.
look at that hair. My goodness.
Yep, the cowboy succeeds in distracting the car. And there's the poster.
Is there a backstory as to why the car was so pissed off?
As I recall, there really wasn't.
There wasn't. There's a moment in there where somebody insults the car and then the car kills them like in the next scene. So I know some people are like, oh, the car like got insulted and its feelings were hurt.
So it's kind of like a John Wick thing. Like one thing happens and then everybody's got to get murdered.
Well, I'm giving away the ending, but there's a bunch of school children and their teachers, including that hot teacher. Let's see if I can get her back on this. Yeah. Way too loud. Sorry. Very loud. The camera spends so much time on this actress and I can't find her on Wikipedia. I asked all my friends who are like experts in horror movies. No one knows who she is. Joe and I actually were having a conversation about maybe she did something terrible and like no one mentions her name anymore. I have no idea.
The car was a Waymo origin story. For those of you not in a city that has Waymos, those are self-driving cars, and they're awesome. I have not taken an Uber ever since I started taking Waymos. I'm only doing self-driving cars. Maybe not after this episode for a little bit.
You're playing with fire there, my friend, because you know they're all gonna someone's gonna snap their fingers and they're all gonna turn rogue. Start crashing into each other, whatever.
I'm sure.
The car chases a bunch of kids and their teachers, and the kids and teachers all jump into a graveyard, and the car cannot get to them because it's hallowed ground. It's sacred ground. So the car has some demonic or satanic origin because it can't go where sacred ground is, hallowed ground. I was watching all of these clips, and this entire show for me was going to come to one conclusion, which I think The Car is probably one of my favorite movies. Because you can find the clips on YouTube, you can watch them yourself, but I can't show them to you because then our show will get taken. I mean, the test show that I did with the clips was yanked off the internet. And I had to remove everything. And this is the thing that drives me crazy. As Joe and I have been doing this show, we're way into our second year now. Yeah. And as we've been doing this show, you can almost always show trailers. If somebody says, no, we own this movie and we're Warner Brothers and you can't touch it, they'll usually at least let me show the trailer.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
That's Sorry,
interesting. Diane? That's interesting. I didn't realize that. I would like to go back in time and do a comparison contrast paper between The Car and Devil Dog, Hound from Hell. I feel like
maybe Devil Dog, Hound from Hell is behind the wheel of the car.
I smell sequel.
He's like,
or maybe prequel.
Prequel, yes.
He's like in the back seat and he's sleeping on a blanket, and the blanket also is from hell. Yeah. That sounds like a really good movie to me.
I did a reverse image search on your gal.
Oh yeah.
And this is what Google came up with. Heather Locklear from Twirl, 1981. Donna Dixon from Bosom Buddies.
Oh, wow.
Something from The Concrete Jungle, and then another Heather Locklear. None of them are her.
None. I'm telling you.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no.
I took a quick peek at IMDb, which I'm sure John already has, and this poor lady didn't get any. I mean, maybe she just wasn't originally credited in the movie for some reason. But did she have dialogue, John?
She did. She was actually leading the band. There's a student band, and they're in this dusty, terrible rodeo, and she's leading them, and of course, jumping up and down quite a bit. And
oh yeah, well,
she's got to be in the credits. She's got to be in the credits.
Unless she created some heinous crime, in real life, and just got
Alan Smithied it after she saw the first cut.
Here's the thing, Raphael. I thought it might be Elizabeth Thompson, who does not have her own Wikipedia page. So I searched up Elizabeth Thompson, and I'm going to say this in the most crude way possible. I'm sorry, but Elizabeth Thompson has a normal person's body. She does not have. Oh wait, she does not have. No, wait. She's not
Adrienne Barbeau's.
She does not have that improbable body.
Yes.
Like, seriously, who has that waist and that chest? I mean, that's why you get to be in a movie.
Of course, the dream would come true would be if this actress was actually watching us now and would identify herself.
If it wouldn't be too embarrassing, we would love it if you would step
now
up.
85 years old.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Still hot. So anyway, the whole point of this, you suck, Shout Factory.
That's too bad, because we would have enjoyed seeing some action of The Car.
This movie is fantastic. fantastic. I love the car. I do not blame them for what Shout Factory has done, because we ran into this when we did You Can't Stop the Music, the Village People movie. We wanted to show great big hunks of it, or maybe watch the whole thing, but Shout Factory owns it, and they're like, nope, can't touch it. Can't touch it, which is brutal.
You would have thought that Nancy Walker's estate would have granted you.
Sorry.
That's what it was. That's the heinous crime.
I'm sorry. I am basically a 6-year-old. When you get right down to it. Okay, so getting back to our clips, I was really afraid because it used to play all the time on TBS. I was really afraid we were going to have a hard time showing anything from Maximum Overdrive. Because I figured this one's owned. They're not going to let us touch it. Nope. We can watch all we want.
John, may I provide a brief intro to Maximum Overdrive?
Oh, please do, because I did not do enough homework to do it myself.
Only because I'm, Mr. Stephen King here, as far as number one fan.
Yeah.
Not Kathy Bates, but you know what I mean. No, she it's based on one of his early short stories. Originally appeared in Cavalier magazine. Mr. King wrote for many men's magazines and some short stories before he got going. It's based on a story called Trucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty straightforward story, pretty brief actually. So the movie is actually very padded, and as we all know, I mean, it was based on his story, directed by King himself,
right?
In his first and so far only directorial effort.
Yeah,
not a huge loss there based on what we're going to see here. It's a self-described moron movie by Stephen King.
Hey,
and you know what? We'll let the rest of it speak for itself.
Nothing wrong with a moron movie. Okay, so I never saw it when it was in the theaters because frankly I was like, I'm not gonna go see a moron movie. But since then I have really come to love it. I frankly think, okay, tell me if I'm wrong, because we're gonna see him in a bunch of these clips, but I think this might be peak Emilio Estevez.
Well, again, it's hard to argue the point.
But
oh,
and of course Yardley Smith, who does the voice of Lisa Simpson.
Yes,
and noted Scientologist.
The truck's trying to run over Lisa Simpson.
That's right.
That angle.
That angle, yes.
I just want to get the hell out of here.
Come on, that's handsome Estevez right there.
Definitely a speak. Now, in the original story, it was only motor vehicles that were possessed.
Right.
Not
so the
machines
electric knife,
lawnmowers, and stuff like that.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man. We already in trouble.
Maximum terror.
Maximum.
Jesus coming in his Maximum King.
Maybe tomorrow will be our world again.
Yeah, dream on.
Dino De Laurentiis presents.
Trying to tell if that's Don LaFontaine.
It sounds
Maximum Overdrive.
It is. It's gotta be.
I don't think that's the Don.
I think
it's screen directed by Stephen King. What's the screenplay too?
I don't think I realized that Stephen King directed that. And
Yeah.
I for sure did not know Emilio Estevez was in that because I was such a huge fan of his from Repo Man. Repo Man was 1984. So this is after Repo Man.
Yes. Isn't that kind of funny? He did have bigger movies too. There was Young Guns. There was St. Elmo's Fire. Oh,
Outsiders, wasn't he in that?
I've written several motion pictures, but I want to tell you about a movie called Maximum Overdrive.
Okay, Steve.
Which is the first one I directed.
He's drunk while he's doing this, right?
He's got to be high on.
Well,
cocaine.
I mean, I think you pointed out to me, and he doesn't even remember making this movie.
Seriously?
He doesn't remember writing Cujo. I know that much. And
Really?
He doesn't remember making this movie at all because he was stoned out of his mind.
Kids, don't be a pill and booze hound. Choose one lane and let that be your lane.
That's your message.
I do like
I am
soda
not a
cans.
role
Yeah, it's got like missiles.
I've directed Stephen King novels and stories. And I finally decided if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself.
What happened?
Who was driving it?
I don't know.
It was my first picture as a director. And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
I don't know.
I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right.
You want a war? You got one.
Yeah, but you get that Mac
I
truck.
just want to get the hell out of here.
So come and spend some time with me and my friends at the Dixie Boy.
Don't let them see in the dark.
I'm going to scare the hell out of you.
Little callback to the old Hitchcock trailers.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man. We already.
Oh, that's yeah.
Is that who is that guy in the bathroom with Estevez? That wasn't D'Onofrio, was it?
No. Just some random fat guy.
Okay.
That was exactly what I thought, though. It's like, oh, look, it's the dollar store Vincent D'Onofrio. Although we didn't have that back in the day. The Kmart Vincent D'Onofrio. All right, what's this next clip here? This is going to be just scenes, just random scenes.
I don't recall we ever got any kind of explanation. I guess because it's a toy truck that we have the Green Goblin covering the whole front of the truck.
I didn't. Somebody told me that they mentioned in the movie that that's the Green Goblin, but
Well, yeah, it's Green Goblin. I think it's because it's for a toy store.
Was I the only one extra creeped out by Stephen King referring to himself in the third person?
Yeah.
Well, Donald Trump.
Oh, commercial. Get rid of that, John.
Done with their rally and
sorry, my ad block.
Gets a kidney punch from the can.
I love it. Okay, so as mentioned earlier by Joe Townsend, this is Trucks. This was made for television.
They did remake that later under its original title, yes. And here it is. I think it was supposed to be a more serious effort, but it didn't really, work out that way.
And I believe that's Timothy Busfield, if there are any other Busfield fans out there.
Can't get nothing on the CB. Phones are out.
Where's the Goblin mask?
Trucks don't drive by themselves.
They do know.
Mysterious force has taken
Olsen's still killing me about the soda machine.
They're up to something, and the traffic is way out of control.
There was also an homage to one of his other stories, The Lawnmower Man, by the lawnmowers killing people.
I love that someone saw the movie and thought, we should remake this.
Well, Roger Ebert, that was one of his things, my favorite critic. He said, why remake good movies? Remake bad ones and make them better. But unfortunately, I'm not sure they really...
I don't really think that hit the mark, but...
Trucks. A thriller without brakes.
The
A thrill without brakes. Yeah.
Written by two guys who are not Stephen King. Oh, my friends. That's it. That's it. We did it. We watched.
We went through our whole list of mechanical mayhem.
That was
murderous
fantastic.
motor vehicles.
And the algorithm for my ChatGPT is going to be messed up for weeks after this.
It's going to be, well, as an expert in Giancarlo Esposito, I would like to say, man. And Diana survived. She certainly did.
I live to tell the tale.
Of course, now she'll be looking not just once or twice, but 10 times before she crosses the street.
I do want to say one more time, my favorite movie is the one we didn't get to see tonight, and that would be The Car. something worth checking out if you ever can find it. And honestly, I would have to purchase it. Apple or Amazon and I think Fandango. Those are the only places that I could find it, on my Roku. So I'm actually thinking about trying to find a DVD of the car.
But you did say that privately, at least, that the folks can go find scenes and clips on YouTube right now.
You can watch them at your leisure. That is fine. We could not broadcast it. I'm sorry, Brodie, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, I bet you could find a copy of the DVD on like eBay. Honestly, I've found some really obscure stuff that I was like, it exists nowhere and I must own it. And I found some pirated copies on the eBays. Yes,
I think you're right. That has worked for me in the past. I really do think I may even ask for it for Christmas. I don't know. I like to send my family on these terrible journees to try to find stuff.
John's gonna be getting like 15 copies of the car for Christmas.
Racetrack, yeah.
Laser disc.
And Atkinson becomes our MVP for the episode. Maybe the car is on 8-track, at least on Single. On the eBay.
On the Southampton eBays.
Does anyone else remember this movie? I do remember it. Raphael remembers it. The Wraith, starring Charlie Sheen.
Oh my.
No.
That is new to me.
This came out around 85, 86, I think. I think that's when I saw it. It might have come out a little earlier because I did used to see a lot of movies on HBO. So that might be where I saw it. But
pre-Ferris Bueller?
No, post Ferris Bueller. But he had done one or two things before The Wraith. And I do remember the argument about The Wraith being, we don't know what's going on here. It seems like there was a boy who was killed in his car by these terrible highway bullies. And then he comes back to this town in a alien car. And the two of them, it's like a Knight Rider thing. Like they've got this connection, him in the car. And they hunt down the bullies and they kill them all. And there's a girl, but then he's got to leave at the end. So it's kind of like the last Starfight. I don't know. It's crazy.
Wow.
John, you just inadvertently made a great point. We should have ended off with a nice supernatural vehicle, i.e. Kit.
Oh.
Well, I mean, technically, Kit's not supernatural, right?
No,
I mean,
but
it's just a nice
extension and self-propelling.
The Pixar cars.
That was actually like the funnest part about having to do all the research about the car was constantly going, yeah. And so the movie Cars, and I'm like, no, not that. 1977, they're like, yeah, John Lasseter and Cars, and I loved Cars, but that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, Barry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Barry, well, watch the replay.
I'm so sorry. Oh, Flight of the Navigator. Oh, that one's okay because that's an alien, right? Oh, yeah. We could have done that. Oh, John Atkinson, you put me to shame. You put me to shame. Sorry, wait. Oh, no, that was a good one, Raphael. That's a good one. Herbie the Love.
How did you miss? How did you frickin' miss that one?
I am going to have a dent in my head right here for doing this for the next week.
Well, doing that or getting a soda can and doing that.
Now, Raphael brings up the Enforcer TV movie. Well, yes, and that was okay, so that's where we kind of get into the Mad Max Highwayman kind of territory. There was another one called Super Truck. But they're just like really built up Mad Max, like really built up trucks that humans are driving. So I wouldn't do that. I do love this from Barry. Can we do another hour? I mean, normally, yes. This is one of our shortest episodes right now at an hour and a half.
I will take a minute, though, to expand by saying that Stephen King wrote a number of vehicle-driven, so to speak, stories. And in addition to Trucks and Christine, he also wrote another novel called From a Buick 8, where a Buick is a portal to another dimension, and a short story called Dolan's Cadillac.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was definitely a car enthusiast.
Yes, that's how you know Raphael's a retro ranger. We can always pad this. It is exact. Oh, hello, Transformers. Oh boy, quickly. Hi Cashew? How does everybody feel about Transformers? Because it does fit. They are alien trucks, but I don't know. And I've always had a love-hate relationship with the movies anyway.
Well, I'm on the fence about that myself, but I will say in terms of a broader idea, maybe a sequel will follow where we talk about good supernatural vehicles.
Oh.
We could do that.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, we got Love Bug, like John, somebody mentioned, and let's do the other side of the coin. Let's do the nice cars.
I mean, I gotta agree with Shode here that, I mean, with the cartoons, I was a huge fan of the Transformers cartoon. So that is true. Oh, this sounds good. The movie Warrior of the Lost World had Mega Weapon.
Ooh, Mega Weapon.
Oh, I love it. Did we touch upon Talladega Nights? We did not.
That didn't quite fit the topic, Barry, but that's a good movie.
Oh, yes, I agree. Michael Bay fooling people into watching his movies is a hell of a talent. I agree. And there are a couple of filmmakers I feel that way about. Folks, we are already looking ahead to our next show.
Oh my.
Next week, Garth will be sitting in Diana's chair. Garth the Gargoyle. We actually have to do a pre-taped episode because Joe and I are not available to do it live next week. So we will have a pre-taped watch party of Gargoyles, which was one of the TV movies that we kids absolutely loved. And we all wished we got to see it because I wasn't allowed to see it, but some lucky kids like Joe Townsend was. Is that correct, Joe? You got to see this, right?
Oh, sure. Watch it with Dad. I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Anyway, we'll be watching Gargoyles next week on a Rangers watch party, and I will be here. So yes, it's Joe. It's Joe. We're doing this for Joe, but we love Joe.
Joe has to be absent next week, but yes, please join John. He will be running the show live, just so we'll have our actual watch party portion pre-recorded. But that does not prohibit you in any way from hopping on at that time. And John, I assume John will be able to put up comments as we normally do everything.
The comments will be going up on the screen, so everybody will still get to be a wise guy and put it up on the screen as Joe and I are watching it. And,
but the only thing is that because of the limitation of pre-taping, if John actually answers your questions as you're asking them on Sunday, then something really creepy is going on.
Could happen. You never know. It's Retro Rangers. You never know. If you enjoy our Saturday show, Retro Trekkers, this is the one Joe and I, from the very beginning, said we want to do a recap and review of this episode because I can easily say it is my favorite episode of Star Trek of them all.
Really? I didn't know that you felt it was number one at the top of the heap.
Number one at the top of the heap. Granted, you must have pre-knowledge of Trouble with Tribbles in order for it to really work. But for me, and I've watched so much Star Trek, this is the one I love the most. I cannot wait to watch it again and to, Joe and I next Saturday at 5 on the East Coast. No, West Coast. 5 on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We will be recapping and reviewing with some of those things that you love about Retro Trekkers. The beats presented by Mr. Townsend. Some of my favorite television that I watch is Mr. Townsend's, PowerPoint presentation that we call the Beats. And then we will, what's the other part that I love?
You like tidbits?
Townsend's tidbits. Nothing more delicious and low calorie than Townsend's tidbits.
So good and so good for you.
Barry says, don't be late, anyone. Barry, we're just so happy you joined us. We are just so happy. I don't care how we get you. I wonder if you could fry a tribble. Well, we discussed that on the show yesterday.
Yes, I mean, while discussing a really horrific tribble story called The Trouble with Edward, and they touched on it, so we had to touch on it too. And if you wonder how we touched on it, have a look at the last night's broadcast. We graphically at least showed you how one way you can prepare tribbles for human consumption.
He says they're a lot like a scallop.
And thank you, Barry, for that.
Yeah, you do have to shave them, but yes, apparently that's how you cook a tribble. There is what else? There is I must agree with Raphael that
thank you.
DJB has been
absolutely.
And let's see. So next week, yeah, we're good. We're good.
How about Weber? There you go. I was about to remind you of this one.
Did I not already talk about? Yes.
No, you talked about War of the Worlds on Halloween night, but we had not talked about the Queen of the Cats.
That's it. So coming up this Thursday, we're going to listen to an episode of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. It stars Tammy Grimes. And I'm going to tell you right now, I did a little bit of research. Tammy Grimes is easily one of the most fascinating people that could ever have been on that show. A very fascinating Broadway star with a tremendous family and a tremendous career. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's about a witch who uses cats to victimize children. So it's going to be spooky. It's going to be spooky. It's going to be creepy. And we hope.
Unless the graphic is tremendous.
I wish I could take the credit for it, but I basically told the computer I want to see something like this, and it gave me 40 of them, and that was the best one.
That is fantastic. Nice job, robot.
Pretty sexy, right?
Yeah, man.
Love that outfit. There was one more thing I was going to do. We want you, we hope you will, go visit our good friend Diana J. Brodie.
Oh, of course.
On YouTube, because take a look at what her Next Level Editing Academy. That's a great page right there.
You want to know how to use Premiere? You want to know how to use Avid Media Composer? I'm your gal.
So I don't know if you can see it, but here we go. I want you to check out NLE Academy on YouTube. Go to that page and find yourself some of these great videos. And I gotta say it once again, these thumbnails are eye-catching. This is really well organized, and all of these videos are made by Brodie. So you want to get a piece of that action.
John, I know there's no graphic for it, and I don't know if you're prepared to even mention it, but you did tell me that you're appearing yet another instance, I think this coming week.
Would that be the wrestling show?
That's why I'm trying to be vague in case you didn't want to get into it, but yes, that would be the one.
I'm gonna be going back to working in wrestling. The hard part is I was tasked by the people who run the wrestling company that I'm gonna be doing commentary for them. I'm gonna be calling matches, and I love doing it. But he was like, we need you to interview the guys. And I'm like, great. And I start emailing the guys, spent a lot of time doing that. And not one of them wrote back to me.
Oh, that's terrible.
Stupid cavemen.
They'll learn. They'll know.
It's a lot of head trauma.
A lot of head trauma. Exactly. So, oh, right. No, wait, that comes from, Tim says, being nice to the robot will not save you from slavery, human. And then somebody over at NLE Academy says, Timothy, I want them to remember that I was one of the good ones when they take over. I agree.
Hey, speaking of wrestling, John, just another idea I want to toss out at you. At one point, it would be great if you, and I'm sure that I can't imagine that it'd be copywritten, but you never know. But Santo Gold, do you remember watching that with me at like 3 in the morning when you were on Spencer Street? It was a commercial for Santo Gold, these like gold jewelry. And then in the middle of the infomercial, it's for real, you could buy the product. And they wanted you to become a Santo Gold salesman. And then it's interrupted by a wrestling match. And then they never go back to Santo Gold. It's just all wrestling. And you and I were like, what are we watching?
It was the weirdest use of purchased time I had ever seen. And that happened. It's so funny, Raphael, what organization? It's an organization that's pretty new called Grapple Labs. And it's out of Pico Rivera in California. And Raphael says, Santo, the silver masked Mexican wrestler? Sadly, no. Someone stealing from him. Someone ripping him off. I don't think there was a Santo, but the guy's, whole organization was called Santo Gold.
Santo Gold.
And didn't we find at one point, Brodie, didn't we find out that he was like on the run? He's like a fugitive from the law.
Yeah, something happened. Yeah, there was some other like undercurrent story, man, that I can't remember. But yeah, it was something like that. But I just remember oddly enough, except for the fact that it's much earlier than 3 in the morning right now, I feel like we've really revisited our 80s roots. But I just remember you and I just sitting on the couch. It was just the two of us on Spencer Street, and everybody else had gone to sleep, and we were just like, "This is the best thing we've ever seen." We were just wrapped into it.
It was my favorite thing in the world, and we've actually covered it on the show. Joe and I.
Have you really?
Well, I mean, not Santo Gold, but my favorite thing about like sitting around and watching bad television with your friends.
Yeah.
It really is like my happy place.
Nothing's better.
Oh, I got to tell you, Night Flight was it for me. Night Flight was like my favorite show. And then if you stayed up long enough, Cartoon Express would come on USA, and they would show all the like Hanna-Barbera cartoons that everyone wanted you to forget about. Oh, I love it.
They produce copyright hits on YouTube, unfortunately.
Yes. Hanna-Barbera is another jealous company, just like Shout Factory. All right. Let's see. See, gold, not silver. Barry says, I never believed in Santo Claus. Timothy says, totally different. There is no Sanity Claus either. Marx Brothers. Perfect. And then
we were padding.
So right. We are padding. My inability to say goodbye is one of my most legendary qualities. Hanna-Barbera can do no wrong. I'm telling you, I wish they would hire me and like put me on Boomerang or something. Does that still exist? And just let me show people cartoons. My God, all I want to do is just show them. Oh,
both great, Timothy. Both great.
Yes.
Robotech. Oh my God, I forgot all about Robotech. What about Star Blazers? I don't think that was Hanna-Barbera.
Our Star Blazers, we're off to outer space.
Defending Mother Earth.
Oh God. All right. It is so much fun to hang out with all of you. I am so glad you were here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brodie,
Thanks
being
for
our
having
guest.
me.
Thank you, Diane.
Sorry about the bangs. They're terrible. I just got
They'll
be better next time.
They are fetching. Are those not fetching bangs, everybody?
I totally agree.
Don't
John.
weigh in. Don't weigh. Nobody weigh in.
Of the three of us, I'm the only one that has a face for radio. So let's just go with that.
My ridiculous
I
hair.
reject that.
My ridiculous hair will in no way make fun of your perfectly normal human hair.
You have mad thespian hair. Ooh, Danger Mouse.
Danger
I
Mouse.
love Danger Mouse.
That was one of my favorite cartoons.
Loved
I
it.
absolutely loved it. Gary, I'm so glad you did join us. Thank you so much for coming through. And Timothy, thank you for being with us. Johnny A, John Atkinson, thank you. Raphael, so much for being with us. Showed, if you're still with us, thank you so much for watching the show. But you're on notice. Okay. Anything else we can promote? Anything? Everything's cool, right?
I think we got all of our promotions under our belt. I mean, you want to run a few, if you really want to pad, you can run every single JoeTownsend.com commercial for the next hour. But maybe not.
Don't think that I don't have that locked and cocked in case you have nothing to show. In case you have nothing to show, there will be a marathon of Joe Townsend commercials. I guarantee it.
Literally.
Well, if anyone can make him entertaining enough to actually sit through at that duration, that would be John Weber.
I appreciate it, brother. Me and the computer appreciate it. All right, where did I put it? Here it is. Thanks again, Diana.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Joe. Good night, everybody.
Grab your popcorn, warm up your TV. Captain John, Commander Joe got something to see. We're all back in time to the golden past with the Retro Rangers. Oh, it's such a blast. We're flying high with the Retro Ranger. Give it a try and don't be a stranger. Ranger, strap yourself in for a fun-filled flight. Retro Rangers are flying tonight. Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers, Retro